Hey guys, it's Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin, and today we will look at these little tiny cigars with bacons. Alright guys, so I hope you guys had a really good day. I had a day. It's not too bad, not too good, and obviously snow is coming down, so it's kind of crazy today. Anyways, so how is everybody doing? Let's see, we have Jason, we have Joseph, we have Sherry, we have D Gordo, Todd Willis. Very nice. We got quite a few people, so my sacrifice will be worth it. Hey Raphael, hey Chris. Staying warm. Yeah, I'm really cold right now. This room right now is below 20 degrees because one of the thermometer over here stopped working at 20, so I know that it's below 20. Hey Sherry, what's going on? Hey Jonathan. It's so cold right now. Even my heat fan is blowing cold air. Like if you can hear the fan, that's my heat fan. It's blowing cold air. So today, I am kind of ready for this cigar. Okay, so we have two. We gotta try two. I have actually chocolates just in case the taste stayed, and I got a spare cigar to smoke for later. Because I know if those were bad, I'm not gonna finish those. This one is the Pippin Garcia. I think this is the classic one because it's kind of green and doesn't have the blue band. It's the Lancero. So we'll try this one out if these were utterly disappointment. All right. So let's get started. Let's start with the Gilberto Oliva one. I already cut a slit, so I'm gonna give that a try. Hey, what's going on, Chris? Oh, very laggy tonight. Hold on a second. Skip frame. Okay, we should be back, I hope. Is that better, guys? It's so cold, the live stream froze. I think so. Yeah. So, guys, is this better? Is this better for you guys? Yeah? Much better? A little better? Kind of better? There we go. Alright. So, now we can get started. Alright. I'm kind of scared. Smells actually really good. Okay. The bacon smells good. This is the one with this is bacon that without brine, so it doesn't have the sugary stuff in there. Let's give it a try. Everything tastes better with bacon. Everything tastes better with bacon. Keep telling yourself that. Everything tastes better with bacon. Everything tastes better with bacon. Oh, it's like crunchy. Okay, that's weird. Dry draw. Tastes kind of salty and sweet, actually. Where's my lighter? Thanks. I love my background, too. Just a little bit at a time, right? Just upgrade a little bit at a time. So anybody smoking anything? Today is a bad snow day. I hope everybody stay in and be safe today. Oh. All right. All right. So it's got this salty aftertaste to it. It's better than soy sauce. It is better than soy sauce. Let's get there, like get that out of the way. It is better than soy sauce. It's got this salty, kind of weird taste to it. It's just salty. And it's got this, like, again, somewhat of a bitter taste to it. It could be from burning some sort of oil in there. Not too sure what's going on with that. So let's have this keep going. And why I compare, right? All right. And this is the one with the brine. Oh, this one smells like crap. It doesn't smell good. Gotta toast this. Buy me myself sometime. Puh. Puh. Okay. Good thing I have stuff to drink. Oh my god. Clean my palate. Hey, Martin. All right. Okay. It had a little bit hint of saltiness to it. You know, like almost like just like aftertaste of salt. Kind of tastes good, the salt part, but the smoke doesn't smoke that good. It is a little bit more oily now that the oil has gotten through. Does it look better to you guys? More shiny. Guys, how you want to look when you want to look super badass outside? This is what you should be doing, okay? This is the soy sauce assassin style smoking. One on each hand and just go like this. Alright? Somebody come and mess with you. You're like, you mess with me? You mess with me? Ah, I just taste something really bad. Ugh. They don't combine well. This particular one got better because more salty. So if you never tried the Casa Cuevas Connecticut, it's very light. It's a very, very light smoke. And because the saltiness kind of added to it, the note actually tastes slightly better. It's more notable. But it's got that like aftertaste of something else in there. I can't tell. I can't pinpoint what it is. This one, didn't taste good at all. It's got this raw taste to it. Slightly raw, some sort of flavor, weird taste to it. It's just not enjoyable. Plus, this is not supposed to have that much pepper in it, and now it tastes like spicy. I don't know. This is acceptable. I in my opinion, it got better than the original because the original is very light. Like you don't even feel like you're smoking it. And this one got worse. Definitely, it's got this raw, after meaty smell to it. It just didn't taste that good. Yeah, this one didn't taste that good. This one is very acceptable. So if you want to do a bacon infusion, do it with the Casa Cuevas Connecticut. It's actually not too bad. Yeah, it's more like salty, creamy. You know when you have those like salted caramel, it's got that saltiness to it, not the caramel. So I would say the test wasn't too bad for this one. That one, nah. Infused cigar. Talking about Filthy Viking being butter smooth, butter infused Filthy Viking. The thing about infusing cigars is when you put something oily on it, it makes it burn worse because oil doesn't like to burn unless you reach a specific temperature. So I don't think that's gonna work that well. I could try. And Tristan, this is exactly why I choose these cigars. Darker leaves like the Maduro and stuff like that will not take any flavor whatsoever. There's no way to infuse them to correctly from my point of view for my house. So I don't think that's gonna work at all to do anything. That's why I choose these like Dominican, either Habano or Connecticut leaves. These will kind of take some flavor. It's not too bad. It's just not enjoyable. I don't know. It's not too bad. It's just not enjoyable. Yeah. But this is not the biggest question that we should be talking about right now. Cigar infusing is no big deal, right? The question is whether or not those bacon are still edible. Is it cigar infused bacon or bacon infused cigars? Now, before I start tasting these, I think everyone should click like for this video. Like all of them, right now I have 25 people, so I should see 25 likes for this video. This is crazy. 25 likes, let's go. Oh. Click on likes. Actually, it does smell like cigar. Hold on. This one just smells more meaty. Evan, I plan to eat it anyway, so you might as well click like right now. But before I eat it, here we go. If you want to support this channel and all my giveaway and stuff like that, all the stuff is in the description. So look at description. There's links. That way we can give more stuff out and stuff like that. You know, if you already watched my Facebook videos, price has gone up. So you know, any support, any help, donation will really help for those people who want to win stuff in the future, right? So ready. Now it's chewy. I don't like chewy bacon. It actually does taste like tobacco. A little bit of tobacco in this. I'm not kidding. There's a little bit of tobacco taste in this. It just got chewy though. Like the moisture, I think the moisture from Cigar kind of moved over. Because this is rather dry. Alright. Non-cured. This is just meaty now. It's like, you know, like when you put bacon for too long, it's just a little bit meaty. Why am I dropping frame? It's actually not bad. Better than the Cigar. This is better though. I think so. It's actually not bad. Tastes like tobacco. Like chewing tobacco a little bit. But they get more chewy. It's not like, you know bacon should be crispy and nice, but this is nah. I don't know. Yeah, it does have this after mask taste to the cigar. It does have a saltiness to it, but that was like, it's killing all the other flavor. This one, the Casa Cueva version of it is not too bad. It's just not enjoyable. The Oliva version was just horrible. Yeah, it's got that meaty taste to it. Have you ever got a piece of meat out of your fridge that has been too long? Or like, you know, when you have beef, you sit in your fridge for so long, it can turn purple or gray. It has a little bit of that smell to it, that taste. No. Alright. So, in summary, don't try this at home. Bacon infused cigar isn't that tasty. Bacon itself is very tasty. Bacon infused, not so much. But tobacco infused bacon, not too bad. Not too bad. I can eat that. It's not too bad. It's actually not too bad. very surprised. Last time the soy sauce one was not even smokable. This one, I think my wife will still kiss me. That's fine. I think that's fine. I need the chocolate. My whole mouth is that flavor. Even this tastes salty. Is this salt? Even chocolate tastes salty now. Nice. You know, the thing about knobs is that even though it looks kind of small, the smoke time is actually quite long. I'm surprised how long I can smoke that thing. It's like 45 minutes an hour. It looks like 10 minutes cigar, right? Because it's so short. But it's so thick, the gauge, that it actually lasts a long time. So, yeah, if you like infused cigar, knobs are good. But if you don't like infused cigar, which I don't recommend, you smoke infused cigar anyway, don't go with it. Alright, so now that's out of the way, let's smoke something good. Please, 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 let's smoke something good. So, I'm pretty sure this is not the blue label because it doesn't have the blue band. So this is actually provided by Ismail. We had a tray, and then he sent one of these to me. And you know, Lancero. Since we've been talking about Lancero for a few days, I figure I smoke one. You can see this is. It's been a while. And you can tell this is not coloring because you can see the bottom is actually clear and the body is yellow. So this has been there for a while. No smell. Okay. Rest in pieces, guys. Rest in pieces. Rest in pieces. Congrats, Tyler. CC300. Good stuff. It's just that make sure you don't use it to store boxes because that thing does not have enough space to store enough boxes. Just lie them down flat and try to get like smaller storages for that rather than having a whole box in there. It just doesn't do well. The air doesn't circulate enough if you put a whole box in there. The only level that should have boxes is the very bottom level. It has no smell. Alright, let's get this going. You know, I want to try this. People just rip the bottom off, right? It's not possible. I can't do it. Dry draw. Cocoa. Chocolate. Kind of sweet. Yeah, it's like a berry kind of flavor. Let's give it a try. Chris, you changed your name again? Oh my god. Very, very creamy first draw. Like, it's like always almost oily and masking the flavor. A little bit buttery. At the same time, it tastes like this wooden drawer. Like when you pull out a drawer that's really old, you have that whiff of smell. It's not a bad smell, it just smells old. All the Lancero looks like this, no? Lanceros are usually long and thin. Got the rock cacao-ish mask buttery flavor. It's kind of creamy. has a little bit herb taste too. Or maybe that's. Yeah, it was kind of long. I mean, it is a mouthful, right? So, Cigar Shogun, more than enough. Gotta be a samurai to be Shogun anyway, so. Alright, let's get this going. You can see that burns quite quickly. You know what this reminds me of? Back in the days, you know, when people smoke opium, they have those really long pipe. And this reminds me of those pipes. You know, huh? You know what I'm talking about? Back in the days when people smoke pipes, they use these kind of, you know, it feels like that way. I'm just smoking pipes. So yeah, I wouldn't look good smoking pipe. Period. Long or short, doesn't matter. I wouldn't look good smoking pipe at all. How many, like, do you guys like Lanceros? That's my problem. Like, it looks, for lack of a better word, girly because it's so thin. And I feel like the satisfying factor is a little bit different. You know, when you smoke cigars, I feel like you had to look good smoking it, right? When this gets a certain point, it's gotta look like a joint. So something like this long, I feel like a girl cigar. You know, it's so long and thin. It's just a typical thing. When you smoke a cigarette, the longer, thinner version are usually for female. But does the flavor profile did change that much? Is the question. It didn't feel like it changed a lot. It burns faster. Heats up faster too. It does have a longer filter. You know, technically you gotta go through all these before it reaches you. So you gotta get some more flavor in a way. I don't know. I'm not particular big cigar guy. I like cigar just big enough. Something like a Robusto, it's already big. Even Corona I actually like. Petite Corona suits me too. But something this long, it's just like, what am I gonna do about this, you know? But yeah, few things. Super Bowl is this Sunday. I'm probably not gonna be home on Saturday. I am traveling because it is the only time I get to travel for work. So Friday, I'm actually meeting one of the members for Cigar Daily Nation in Auburn, and we're just gonna hang out, smoke a little bit before I head to the airport. And after that, I will head to the airport. I'm gonna travel for my work, and I'll come back. As you can see, I look even younger now with pimples because I haven't slept. I slept today. I didn't sleep the past 2 days because I'll work. I can show you guys this, but like I just can't show you guys the entire thing. This is a business plan. This is what I had to read through. Business plan, legal, documentation, business plan. This is what I do for work, and you know, yeah, decorations, legals, acknowledgements, all that stuff. It's all in this one book, and this is what I do for work. So I read through this, I rip it apart, about everything that's wrong in this, and I go to my client. So that's my job. Yeah, it is big book. It is not a small book. That's my job. So that's what I usually read through, and then and to pick up all the problems in the plan, to pick out all the issues with the plan, and gotta come out with a better plan. That takes a long time, and usually I forget to sleep for a couple of days. So, yeah, that's how I get younger. I got younger. Pimples are coming out. I look like a teenager when I go out. It's crazy. But yeah, that's my work is coming up, so I'll be traveling, and when I travel, there might or might not be a video coming up. I don't know if I have the time to make one. So this weekend you might not see me, but everybody will be enjoying the Super Bowl, so that's okay. Stick with my dirt. I work in dirt. Yeah, I mean, a lot of time people ask me what I do and stuff like that. And now that you see what I had to go through, do you think I'm overpaid? That's a lot of reading. And now, usually I only have a couple days to 3 days to read it. I had to read it, go through it. Almost like a politician. But except politician has an assistant read it through and then give him a summary. I had to read through the whole thing. Every part of it. Hey Glenn, what's going on? Travel to Ohio. I wish I have clients in some of those like mellow towns. Like Ohio is one. Ohio, Idaho, South Carolina. It's like very laid back state that I don't mind to go. But usually I go to like Chicago, California, New York. Silicon Valley, San Francisco, places I don't want to go that much. I need an assistant. No, I don't need an assistant. I actually before I had assistants before. I had to fire them because they don't read it as detailed as I do. So at one time I actually hired an assistant who is a paralegal. So you think that paralegal reads the paperwork very well, and they keep everything very organized and all that stuff. And when I get the information from my assistant, she gave me a summary of what she thinks is important, but leave out a lot of important stuff. So when I go to the meeting, I turned out looking unprepared because a lot of time you have to have a debate with the team. You have to have the debate with the board. Why do you think certain things a certain way? And I have to be very prepared for those questions. I had to be able to answer every question. So that turns out it was negative for me because now there are parts of the document I never read, so I wouldn't know. Which proves, again, if you want to do something done right, do it yourself. And I paid that assistant $109,000 a year. That includes payroll. So $109,000 a year for assistant, and I didn't do a good job. Who is my favorite painter? That's easy. His name is Fabio Napoleoni. That's my favorite painter. Have somebody start a business in Ohio and pay me go over there. Someone had to start a business first and then hire me. I'll give him a discount. Tax is coming. I'm not looking forward to tax season. I hate tax seasons. A lot of people get money back from tax seasons. I always owe money because I had to hold my own tax, and when I do estimates, I never do enough. So I always get penalized for it. Every year I end up paying enough tax to buy a house. I'm not looking forward to tax at all. Hey Tyler, what's going on? A lot of people actually told me that this year they save money on their tax because the standard deduction is much better, and when you don't have itemized deductions, the tax are better because now you don't have to itemize anything, and you get $24,000 per family, or of two, or I think $12,000 per person, or 14. That's already good enough, you know. Jason, were you the one that posted a post about like what you get for coffee? Like any standard French press will do a good job. So the kids is only $1,000 deduction. It's not a lot. Michael, the kids were not giving nearly enough. I paid federal tax of $360,000 last year, so our kids will only take away $1,000 or $2,000. That's not gonna be a lot. Glenn, yeah, you had to rewatch it. It wasn't nearly as amazing as the soy sauce cigar. I can tell you that because it was much more bearable. I just started the lens. Um, it's got like a raw cocoa taste. It's got initial draw is very creamy. It's like really really creamy. It has like a woody, almost like a wooden draw taste to it. but I didn't see how it's special. I mean, it does taste good. It's enjoyable, but it doesn't have that much complex of flavor. And this is exactly what it is because you don't have enough room to put multiple blends in here that will give you the complex flavor. So it won't give you that complex flavor as a Lancero. Tyler, yeah, 360,000 federal, and I think 50,000 in state tax. And that's how much I owe at the end. I had to pay. You gotta love soft flame lighter. You'll realize that you can actually suck in the flame, like from where it's going. So when you're breathing in, when you're taking the draw, the flame will get drawn in there much easier than a torch lighter. Joseph, you gotta love it. You will be a believer once you use a soft lighter. Yeah, and this burns a lot quicker than the rest of it. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. It has a strength though. I feel like this is like a medium blend, because I can feel it a little bit. It could be also because I was smoking two cigars at the same time earlier, but we'll see. Nice, Glenn. We already talked about last time. Do not smoke it from the middle. It's not meant to be. It's impossible. And if you have any beer and mustache, if you smoke it that way, it's gonna burn your beer. Tyler, yeah. Never complain about your tax again. Not at least not to me. Oh my god. Yeah, people is like, oh, I'm gonna go shop. Everybody, I always get jealous when people say I'm gonna go shopping with my tax returns because I never get to shopping with tax returns. I haven't had tax returned to me for at least 10 years. So I've been only paying more tax for 10 years. Tyler, I use the DuPont South Flame lighter. I also use the Cigar Daily one, just not as often because if you look at Cigar Daily's South Flame, it's kind of thin, right? But and sometimes it gives me issue closing. But the DuPont one is fat. You see that? You see that? It's fat. Because technically, it's actually two flames next to each other. It's just when it's not as strong, it's one flame. It's fatter. It's easier to light. So this is why I like to use this one versus this one. But if I travel, this is probably easier because I don't mind to lose one of these. I do mind to lose one of these. And this has torch and flame, so this is a good one. Oh yeah, everybody would love to shop with the old tax. You can buy a house every year with that. You can buy a house and a car every year. You know, I talked to a lot of people before about this where people was like, oh, Tony, you make a good living, so I wish I had your job. But I tell them like, no, you don't want my job. Once you work my job, you know how stressful it is, and then you wouldn't like it. I only keep doing it because now I got to a point where I had bills to pay, right? I had multiple houses I had to pay, maintenance and all that stuff, and I have bills. I have a wife that spends, so you know I have a family member that spends. So I can't stop. Now if I all of a sudden stop, everything will go down the drain. Now we'll be in debt and everything. But so long as I continue, life will be good. So now I got to a point where I can't say I don't want to do my job anymore. I can't even fire myself. A lot of time I say, you know, to save up for it. You know, you could use a small regular lighter for now, and then just put $10 in a jar every week. In a few weeks you'll have it. Can you buy a house at 100 grand a year? You say 3 houses, right? So a house only costs 100 grand. I mean, that's not even possible in Massachusetts. Oh, you don't want to owe these kind of taxes. Like this, I'm talking about this kind of amount where if you don't pay it the same year, the government will impose interest on your tax. And that goes crazy. We're talking about 5%, 10% interest on your tax. That gets one to the point where you have to call one of those like tax lawyers to get you out of those debt. Those are impossible to pay off. So you never, and when you hold your own tax, you got to be diligent about holding your own tax. You basically will have to pay quarterly taxes. I pay quarterly taxes estimate, and that even that I owe. So. $3,200 square feet, 5 bedroom, 3 bath, and you only pay $135. I need to go over there and buy a house to store my cigars. An average small apartment, like, you know, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, will cost about $250,000 to $300,000 in Massachusetts. So that I can't imagine you can buy $3,200 200 square feet. We're talking about 800 square feet. It costs you 250,000. I need to move. It sounds like I need to move. I had a Jaguar F-Type before. It wasn't my type for sure. It's F-Type, not my type. See, this is one of the things that I kind of envy. Certain places that you can live very well with a certain amount of. No, see, that's the thing. If I get a tax deduction, that means I can't give away, right? If I set it as a business, I cannot give away anything because now I had to abide to the rule about cigars where I can't give away unless I make a sale at least $1, which technically I could. I mean, I could do that and just say everybody had to pay shipping. That's technically $1, but I don't think that feels right. I'm making it so that everybody has free will, right? So everybody can say, I want to support Tony, so I donate a few bucks, pocket change here and there. But if you don't want to, it's not enforced on you. And those people who win something don't have to think that, oh, now I had to pay for this. I won something. Why do I have to pay for it? Like when I win something, I refuse to pay anything. So not that I ever win anything, but. Cost of living pretty low income area. You can live in the king. One of my friend moved to Phoenix, Arizona. Actually, he makes $125,000 a year, and then he was bragging to me all the time because when he lived in Massachusetts, we went to the same school, so we're like good friends for a long time. So he lived in an apartment that's like as breakdown as he can possibly think. He didn't buy a LCD TV until his mid-30s, his early 30s. Like he didn't buy an LCD TV until then. He didn't even have a TV at home. He's like that, living that broke. But when he go to Phoenix, Arizona, he buy a house immediately with a swimming pool and start to do renovation all over his house. And he's like, you have no idea how cheap it is to do it here. I was like, I don't want to know. He's like, I'm gonna dig a hole, I'm gonna make a swimming pool, I gotta do this and do that, I gotta buy 2 trucks. How is that, like, I would think the material costs the same. Maybe labor is cheaper? How did that work? Four bedroom, 3 bath, basement, plenty of crawl space on 2 acres for $30,000. Where do you live, Tristan? Can I buy your house? $30,000? I mean, you can't even buy the material for $30,000. How do you depreciate to $30,000? Like if I had to buy $30,000 over the wood, I can't even spend $30,000 to buy a modular house because that's not even enough to buy a modular house, let alone the land. The land will have to be free at that point. That's crazy. That kind of market is crazy. My grandmother sold one of the house that she was inherited from her second or third husband. And she sold it for like $3 million. And that's like 1 bedroom apartment. Apartment in Japan is actually very expensive too. Really? Is it run down though, Tristan? Is it run down? Like a house run down? That's why they want to get rid of it, kind of thing? See, that's the thing. Like when I renovate my bathroom, a bathtub cost me like $7 grand. So 50 grand, that's like a bathroom and a half. One of my best friend lives in Atlanta, and he loves it over there. Only reason is because he likes. He said that there's a straight flight from Georgia to Korea, and that's why he moved there. But he's telling me that right now the flight like costs ridiculous amount. Regular flight ticket will cost him $4 grand. I was like, that's ridiculous. Flying a economy flight will cost him $4 grand a ticket to fly back to Korea. Maybe eventually I will move. I am thinking, obviously I don't want to be in Massachusetts forever. But I mean, I have houses in various places, right? So I go there and I stay there. But nothing feels like Massachusetts. I always came back to Massachusetts, right? Japan's great. I could live in Japan forever if I wanted to. But I still came back to Massachusetts. I don't know. It just feels like home. Because I've been here so long that I feel like it's the place that I want to be. Plus, the thing about drier area is that you gotta find scorpion and large spiders the size of your palm, tarantulas and all that kind of weird bugs. And my wife hates bugs, so you can imagine that she doesn't want to move anywhere. It's $3,000 for the tub, but you gotta hire a plumber. You gotta hire a plumber. You gotta hire, licensed plumber to change pipe and all that stuff, and you gotta get a permit. Like in Framingham, even putting your own toilet requires a plumbing permit, and Massachusetts rule is that anybody can get any type of permit that you want except plumbing. Only plumber can get plumbing permit. And they will charge you arm and a leg because they're a monopoly. Only the plumber can get plumbing permit. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. My wife hates bugs. Everywhere we move to, eventually we'll make the surrounding area of our house concrete, so that there's less bugs. It's not a good. I don't know. Bugs are bugs, but then like some bugs can kill you. I don't want to die in my sleep because scorpion decided to kind of stung me while I'm sleeping. Sometimes my wife loves the show called Monster Inside Me, and she have seen all those crazy stuff. She thinks that the rest of the world can kill her. So. We have those spiders in Taiwan too. Taiwan has this kind of spider that's really quick. It's bigger than my hand. The size is probably this big because the leg is super long. So you can imagine my hand probably get another section of it. That's how big the spider is. And we should have one. Those spiders move super fast. I'm talking about like, from A to B, like 100 square feet, probably a few seconds. It's super quick. And those are like scary, scary spiders in Taiwan. So I'm used to seeing spiders, not a big deal. But imagine that spider. It looks like one of those like, if you guys seen the movie Alien, the thing that goes on your face, that big. It's crazy. And some people love spiders though. Some people are fascinated by spider and they love spiders. Just not my wife. I think even Massachusetts has black widows, so that's the scary part. So you guys all ready for Super Bowl? All of you are watching Super Bowl, right? Being really honest, I wish Tom Brady can retire this year. He's done. Like I'm tired. See, the reason I'm not watching Super Bowl anymore is because I'm tired of watching Tom Brady. Just put somebody else there. I'll start watching again. So. Burn down the house. Never seen a scorpion here, but I've heard of them. I've seen Black Widow, and I heard, I think it's Florida or some other places. Every so often there's a season where there's some sort of bug that will just flood the place. It will die on your car and everything. They will just flood the whole place. I think that's Florida that has that kind of weird ass bugs that will just flood the place like one of the season. That would scare me. So this is one reason I had to choose when I go to Florida. I forgot what they call. Stink bug? No, it's not stink bug. Love bug? I think it's called love bug. Floridian, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's called love bug. Every day is like Attack of the Titan. Oh, well, maybe it's called Mayfly. I don't know. I thought it was called Love Bug. It's scary. I saw videos where they're just driving and those things attacks like aliens. Like the whole car is that bug. I can't imagine that. I can't even imagine myself in that situation. Would I scream, yeah, food? Or would I scream, oh my god, I had to wash my car now? Because I might just try to eat it. I don't know. Knowing me, if I'm driving and one of you said in my next to my car, I said, hey, Tony, what do you think eating that? I'll be like, we'll do it for science. Let's try it. You know, bad idea. Bad idea. You know, I'm that kind of person, you know. Somebody come out with a stupid idea, I'll be like, oh, let's try it. What's the worst that's gonna happen? You gotta get stomach it. Ooh, you know? Not a good idea. I need people to change around for the sports so that I can start watching them again. Because it's just getting boring. It's just getting boring. Someone else needs to win, okay? Not like once in the 20-year win. It would be nice if I can, like, this year's that team, the next year's the other team, the next year's the other team. Don't let one team have like 5 rings. That would be nice. Oh yeah, I always learn it's only bad idea after I do something, of course. But if you don't try, you don't know. Very acidity. They'll eat. That's okay. I'm very used to drinking apple cider vinegar, so acid is great. This cigar, I don't know. It doesn't change. It's the same steadiness, the same strength, the same flavor going through the whole time. So, I mean, if you like one flavor, this is kind of good thing. You know, almost like a Connecticut. If you like the one standard flavor, that's gotta be like consistent throughout. But so far, like when flavor doesn't change when I smoke a cigar, I eventually forget I'm smoking the cigar. I just keep drawing on it. I just forget that I'm smoking the cigar. Ranch and bacon flavor are the best. Crickets? Yeah, crickets are good. Have you tried stir-fry crickets? Fry the cricket first and then stir-fry. Oh my god. You won't even know it's not Genogal chicken. You won't even know it's not Genogal's chicken. I'm telling you. Internal conflicts where we should and shouldn't consume, except me. I've eaten so many things. I got to a point where, like, you know, you've already gone through the worst. The worst is food poisoning, right? If you try to eat something, the worst is food poisoning. And I've done like the worst of the worst food poisoning. Like I was literally on my bed. I couldn't move. I was shitting myself everywhere. And like literally, my mother-in-law had to show up with me on my underwear, like lying in bed half dead. I'm like, you know. And then I, right my bedside, you can see a whole case of the Pedialytes because I was that sick. I figured nothing's gonna be worse than those. So, you know, what are some diarrheas? Well, you never know. You might find something that's really tasty, and that might be worth it. You know, I feel like I've done the worst. I mean, next level might be death, but I don't think I ever gotta get to that. Exactly. Don't knock it until you try it. Don't knock it until you try it. What did I eat? It was Valentine's Day, and my wife made me some chicken. The chicken was raw. She made the chicken into with apples. So it's a slice of apple, slice of chicken, slice of apple, slice of chicken, make it into rolls. It was Valentine's Day, so you know, I was like, oh great, my wife made me something for the very first time. Eat it. Yeah, it was raw. So next thing you know, I got food poisoning. So I don't think it's gotta be that bad. I mean, I've eaten raw chicken, so when she bring me raw chicken, I didn't feel that cautious. You know, it's my wife, gotta eat it. You know, if she made it, I had to eat at least one. She made 6, I ate 1, and that 1 was enough to put me in bed. My wife was never really a person that's good at cooking. She back in college, she actually made me brownie, and the brownie was so hard. I can hit on the door and the door a dent. The door will have a dent in it because I throw it at the door. It's that hard. I was like, how do you eat this? And I just knock it on the door and the door got dents on it. The brownie was completely hard. Yeah, we call that salmonella, I think. Salmonella. You know, when you had to sit on the toilet and have to use the same toilet for puking at the same time, back and forth, that's when you know you have something really bad. Like, everything you had to try once, right? So, I'm not too afraid to admit that that's the only time is that bad. Where, like, you know, where I would tell people, when you feel like that, don't ever guess if it's gotta be solid or gas. Because it's always solid. It's never gas. I had to throw away all my underwear after that. Because it's all bad. Never had a food poisoning? Well, I'm not. First of all, I'm not gonna say Mexican water is that bad. All right, Mexican water is not bad. Obviously, they can survive, right? But based on statistics, everybody who go to Mexico and eat something gets sick and come back. So, either it's not that clean, or we're just not used to the food, right? And Nate, being you, eating a lot of things and not get sick, it could possibly means that your immune system is not working that well. It's not reacting to anything. Because even a frog eat the poison stuff, he can spit back out his stomach and wash it. And if you don't have any feelings, usually means like your system's not working that well. So you should get that checked out. I see a lot of people are planning cruise trips this year. I'm actually kind of jealous. I wanted to go on a cruise this year. Cruise trips. Any of you go on cruise this year or ever? Have anybody gone on cruise before in this group right now? Anybody? Cruise trips. If you have been to a cruise before, comment in the chat room. Let me know, where did you go with the cruise? Where have you been for the cruise? Oh, cruising to Cuba in November. Okay. Just be really careful though, because when you go to that kind of places, it is a dangerous place here and there. So make sure you go on a tour. Make sure you do the excursion. Only don't spin off and do something else. So yeah. Bermuda, okay. So Joseph will know what I'm talking about. Bermuda is such a small place, but get from one side to the other will take you an hour. It will take you an hour. Down on Viking cruise, been on Caribbean to Jamaica, Grand Cayman. Oh, Jason Martin has done it many times, huh? Went on 10 years ago with the family. Went to Cancun and Carnival cruise. Okay. I like the Royal Caribbeans. That's the cruise that I usually go on to. They have new ships that my wife really want to try. My wife loves cruise. I don't know. I personally get seasick, so every day morning, first thing I come up, I eat a motion sickness pill, Dremelin, and she enjoys a lot because cruise trip is one of those places where you're stuck there, so you might as well do something, all right? Like, there's only a few things you can do on a cruise. You can eat, you can try whatever they're doing there, you can go drink, and you can go shopping, and my wife loves that because she will do all of those. There's nothing manly that you can do on a cruise ship, really. So she loves cruising. So she loves to say, I feel so great when I go on a cruise. So, yeah, I feel stuck when I go on a cruise. So it went out on me, even though I continue to puff on that. That's kind of weird. I want to go on a Disney cruise just to see how it is. I still have the the kid side on me. I wanted to see Disney cruise. Oh, gamble. See, that's the thing. That's the one thing I don't do on a cruise. My thing about gambling is that I don't like to bet on things that I'm most likely to lose. So you don't see me gamble a lot. I'll gamble with friends, right? Small stuff is fine. If any of you come over if I play poker, I'm totally down with it. But I don't like to go to a business where they calculate how to win every time. So when you go in there, you're guaranteed to lose. Yes, you could win sometimes, right? There are ways to win, but majority of the time you're losing. So I don't go to gamble all that much. So in the cruise, I actually don't go down to that floor at all. Do you guys like to gamble? Like, do you do like blackjack, poker, Texas Hold'em, or slot machines? It's a lot of places to go. I'm actually thinking to go to Florida for a few days and then take the cruise up to probably up to UK and then spend a few days there and then come back. So that might happen this year. I don't know. I might plan something like that just to make my wife happy. So I don't know. That would be kind of interesting to do a live show on the cruise. This is where you can smoke. Exactly. So Chinese has saying that, you know, when you gamble 10 times, 9 times you gotta lose in a gambling environment, because that is a business to make money. So there's not one, you know, gambling place that's gonna or casino that's gonna allow you to win majority of the time. They gotta win majority of the time. So out of the entertainment value, there's not much value. So I much rather to lose to a friend than a host of a business. So if I'm single, I will go though. If I'm single. You know, I was pretty good when I'm single. So, you know, if I'm single and go to a casino, I actually go home with something. I wouldn't have to go home with that. What am I talking about? Must be the bacon talking. Yeah, the smoking section of places allow cigarette because they're so light. When you do a cigar place, when you go in and smoke a cigar, the whole place reeks cigars. It will actually leak out. So they don't really like it when you smoke cigars in there. So, I mean, you could still do it. What I gotta do, kick you off the boat, you know. But they try to not to get everybody sick, because the smoke can actually get people sick. Cigarette smoke is actually not gonna make you feel dizzy or whatever. But in a room with a lot of people smoking cigars, you are going to see some of the greenhorns that gotta get sick. So that's probably why they don't allow it. Oh, I'm not gonna get myself in trouble. My wife knows that. My wife knows. I was pretty good back in the days. Hey Ruben, what's going on? See, this version of me is already very downtoned. Back when I was younger, I was fearless. I was, you know, willing to take risk. I was one of those guys that would go on a girl and say, "Hey, what are you doing? Let's go hang out," and then just end up with a lot of girls. Hang out. Hang out. So, you know, now I'm just so downtoned. I don't feel anything anymore in terms of like seeing a hot girl walking by. I'll be like, you know. Now it's kind of the opposite. My wife would be like, "You see that girl? She's so pretty. Look at her legs." I was like, I don't walk around and look at people's leg. Like, you know, a lot of girls will actually like, "Oh, my eyebrow is not even today," or "My dress doesn't look perfect today," and I go, no one's gonna remember that at the end of the day. Like, name 10 people that you remember seeing today and exactly what they're wearing, what eyebrow color did they have, and what shoes are they wearing. Nobody remembers that. So, you know, nowadays it's almost like my wife gets me to look at girls. It's like, I don't want to look at girls. Let's move on. Let's look at guys. That's fine. You know, it's just like when you get older, you feel like it's no longer a secret. You know, when you're adolescent, you feel like, oh, things that's sexual is such a beautiful thing that you want to learn more about. You want to try every single thing. And when you get old, it's just like, do we have to talk about this? Like, yeah, not my thing. You know. For example, women like to read 50 Shades of Grey. I think that's what's called, 50 Shades of Grey. And they were talking about it. I'm like, I have absolutely no interest in that. Not that I'm bending sideways. I'm still the way I am, but it's just not interesting. Right, so I saw the Supra, and obviously I don't plan to buy. Okay, everybody's gonna flame me for this. I don't like Toyota cars. Ta-da! I don't like Toyota cars. mean, sometimes I feel weird because the age gap between me and my wife. Me and my wife have 5-year difference, right? So as you get older, it doesn't feel like that bad. But if you go back in a few years, start calculating the age, it starts to feel like a pedophile. And I always say that to my mother-in-law or my own parents. I'm like, Mom, I feel like a pedophile. She's like, why? I was like, oh, think of this way, okay? When I'm 18, my wife is only 13. Now that would have been illegal, right? So if you move back just a little bit, when I'm 16, my wife's only 11. That sounds horrible. When I'm 13, my wife is only 8. Doesn't that make me a pedophile? I feel that way sometimes. So that's why you guys saw me the hashtag. I feel, she makes me look like a pedo, because I really feel like a pedophile here and there sometimes. It's just not. You know, all my other girlfriends don't age different that much. She's the youngest one I've dated, so I don't know what happened. Alright, so let's go back to the cars before I get into too much trouble, alright? So when I'm younger, I'm a JDM guy, so I like Japanese cars. I modify cars. I do a lot of things to my Toyota, Celica, Supra, and then Honda, Civic, Integra, NSX. You know, I have all those, and I start modifying all the time. But as you get older, as you drive more cars, you feel less need to modify a car, right? Because I spend more money modifying a car than buying a car. And you realize that as you go, are able to afford just buy cars and not modify them. So when it gets to a point, you think about it, right? Supra stock isn't that amazing at all. The only reason that Supra was famous is because people modify them, and you can easily modify that to 1,000 horsepower like that. Easy, right? But the car itself isn't that good. There's nothing special about it. So if you really look into the history of Supra, there's nothing impressive about it. And so now they introduce a Supra, it doesn't get me. Like, it's like, why don't I just buy a car that's way faster? You know, and Toyota is not being easy on their car prices too. So it just doesn't want to stay lit. I don't know. I mean, you can't really call that a legend if you had to modify it to get it to a point, right? Skyline R32, R34. Well, I only really consider R32 Skyline, okay? Because R33 is crap and R34 is only a little bit less crappy. But you don't have to modify those, and those are really good cars already. So to say a Supra is a legend without modifying it is crazy talk, because you had to modify it to get it to that point. You put a stock Supra in a drag strip, everybody will laugh at you, because that's not gonna go that much. It's not gonna give you the power. You put any, I don't know, 300 horsepower car, it's just gonna beat it. Nate, Nate, you watch too much Fast and Furious. The car isn't that amazing, especially compared to R35. It's not amazing at all. It's really outdated. Like, stop watching Initial D and thinking that every car you can modify to something good. In terms of safety, I change car all the time because I care for my family safety. So the more safety feature in there, the better for me. And as you buy those cars, they get ridiculous amount of horsepower that you can't use anywhere. My current car, it's got 510 horsepower. I have never used my own car to 510 horsepower. Even if I floor it, it's not using 510 horsepower, right? I've got some ridiculous tickets. So, and I've driven that same car on track before, and even if you max it out for the track, there's no way to use that 510 horsepower. So, unless you drag it, there's no point. And as you get to that point of car buying, you just realize that you really just doesn't have to buy cars to modify, or car that were known famous for modifying. Just buy a car that's faster. If you've never seen a Fast and Furious movie, then stop watching Initial D. That's probably the other one that you're watching. Now, Nissan 350Z is a good car, only because it's nimble to start with. It's a great design. I think it's beautiful. You know, there's absolutely no reason why anybody cannot call that a fair lady, because it's just that beautiful. They kind of screwed it up with the 370, but still beautiful. That shape is beautiful. But you gotta know, that's what I'm talking about. A car should just buy it and have the whole package rather than having to modify them. I don't like to modify cars anymore because I feel like I can just buy a car that's meant to be rather than changing it. The fact that you had to change it made it just not that car anymore, right? For example, I can buy a shell and just put a Honda Integra Type R engine in there. It doesn't make it Integra Type R, right? Because it's not Integra Type R. And you drive it away, it drives just as fast as Integra. But what about if you switch it around? When you have Integra Type R, switch the engine on and put something else in there. Is it still Integra? It's not. So once you change it from the original design language, it's not the same car anymore. In my opinion, that's why. I mean, like if you get a regular Camry, like a Bumblebee, slap in a Hemi V8 in there, it's not Camry anymore, and it's not that V8 anymore. It's just a Frankenstein of the two. You gotta get whatever speed that you want, but does that make the Camry legendary? It's not, right? Because you modified it. I had an NSX too, the new one. It's a great car. It's just, when you had to park that car, you realize how hard it is. Like every time you go into a shop, you had to worry about somebody scratching your car because everyone's taking a picture at your car. Toyota Tundra, Tyler, it's time to get a real truck. I'm sorry. It's time to get a real truck. F-150. Now, Kia Forte is a good family car though. It's just kind of tiny, but it's a good car. I mean, a lot of people think that if you want to buy a car, you had to buy a sports car. And you had to buy a fast car. No, you just had to get a car that gets you from point A to point B, or whatever makes you happy. Kia Forte is a great car. I can honestly tell you, at one time I thought about buying Kia Soul just because the commercial has hamster on it. But when I go into there, argue for the deal, or bargain for the deal, all I wanted was a big, gigantic hamster poster to go with it. They refused, so I didn't buy the car. But I've seen people who drive Kia Soul super happy. One day I was walking in the street and this old couple, like I think they're in their 70s, 80s. They were driving the Kia Soul and they were super happy with the happy music going, like, you know, yay. I was like, whoa, those two people are really happy. Yeah, happy marriage right there. Your dad sold a Michael Jordan. Your dad sold Michael Jordan a black NSX. Your dad lived in Chicago? Now, yeah, I know the Soul, it takes forever, but Soul gets 50 miles to a gallon. That's really good. I've had an F-150 and put more money into repair than I paid for it initially. 4 are only made to look cool and not the function. I had to disagree with that, Tyler. Did you buy it brand new? Because everyone who owns an F-150 abuses it to death. So if you buy it used, you have to fix it. And that's just the way it is. Because if you ask me what truck I would ever buy, the only truck I would ever buy would be F-150. Or F-Series, the F-Series from Ford. F-150, 250, 350. Those are the truck I will buy. because I've seen so many of them and they're like tanks. And just so everybody know, when you buy a sports car, the word sports car pretty much tells you that there is no reliability on that car, okay? Do not expect your sports car to last a long time. They don't. They break as fast as because they put everything into pumping as much power as possible for the car, and there goes the reliability. He sold Jordan one. I mean, trucks are amazingly comfortable. Like I said before, I don't know why I don't have a truck yet. I don't know why. I just can't imagine myself owning one because I had to climb into it every time. I'm just so tiny of a person. The truck will look extremely big on me. I don't have big cars like the SUV I have are crossovers. They're not full size SUVs because I don't like big cars. But F-150s, I always want to say, I always like drove by one. I need one of those. I need one of those. I need one of those. The only thing that's close that I ever buy was a Jeep Wrangler, which kind of is like a tank. Say what about Ford? Ruben, what did I say about Ford that you do not like? I actually like Ford. Now, Ruben, you kind of had to tell me which part of Ford description did you not like, because I thought Ford trucks are very reliable. I mean, just think about what people use it for, right? When you go out there, you see constructing and all that stuff they use for, and they're not cheap cars too. You're not there to see this, but when I went to Cigars Daily, Harrison picked me up in his truck, and his truck doesn't have a stair because one of his stairs broken on the driver's side. I had to climb into that thing every time. I look like a little guy just go, how do I get up there? Throw me a rope, because I couldn't get in there. It was just so big without a stair. I had a Nissan Rogue back in college year too. Um, it's I actually think that car is kind of confused. So if you want a SUV, I recommend you to get the Acura RDX or MDX. They're actually functionally wise better than the Nissan one, in my opinion. That is. And I used to be a Nissan fanboy. Like I drive Maxima. My first car was a Maxima, so. 6'4", 340 pounds, and you fit in the Forte. That's. I have to see how that works. That's not that, Chevy GMC guy. See, I have nothing wrong. I think GMC are good SUVs. So GMC makes good SUVs, but I haven't seen enough GMC trucks on the road to say, hey, I trust the quality of GMC trucks. So if that makes any sense. I've seen enough F-150 to know that the quality of F-150 is something that I can trust in. I haven't seen enough GMC trucks out there that I can say, hey, if I'm going to get a truck, I should get GMC. But SUV-wise, they have quite a bit of good ones. If that's. You got a Maserati that was fairly tiny, and scraped it. Which Maserati? Maserati Ghibli? My brother drives that car, and I was kind of disappointed when I got into it. That car has like no power. I wish I could show you guys pictures of my old cars. I have a whole list of cars. I think I own more than 50 cars in my lifetime so far. So I have a lot of car histories that I can show you guys technically. Yeah, if I can do it. You know. But then yeah, I've driven all those cars. I change car about once every 7 or 8 months. Depends on how long it takes to order the next one. But because I change so much, I have a different perspective on cars, I guess. That sounds right. Yeah, Maserati. If you drive a Ghibli, you will know that like it sounds weak and it drives weak, and like the GPS system in there isn't that good, and it's just like it didn't feel luxury, right? Because I know that majority of the parts are plastic. So why would you spend $70,000 to buy a car that's full of plastic? So it's like, why? And you'll see a lot of people driving them particular Maseratis in China. A lot of girls drives it, and they feel all cool in there because to buy a Maserati in China is actually not that easy. You had to pay 120% tax. Yeah, you heard it right. 120% tax on the Maseratis. So you had to pay the car twice to buy it. So when you can buy a Maserati in China, you're rich. Lotus is not a car. Lotus is like a cart with the K. Okay, Lotus. You drive Lotus from Boston to Connecticut, you have a broken tailbone. This doesn't want to stay lit. I'm trying my best to stay lit. Like, yeah, I've driven a Lotus before, and it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable. The bottom of the car is literally just a board. You're sitting on top of a board. That was kind of woodsy. Tobacco-y, woodsy. Yeah. It's not that crazy. It's like I actually sell my car to buy another car. That's why the dealer loves me, because I always return the car like almost new condition. It's like 3,000, 4,000 miles on it, and I already got it, and I buy another car. So they usually have no problem selling the cars I sell back. I don't like cars to last too long unless it's a car that's meant to, like I say, if you buy a sports car, they're not meant to be reliable, so you're not gonna keep them for long, right? But if you buy SUV, I can keep an SUV for 10 years, no problem. I can keep a family car like a Accord for 10 years, no problem. But if you tell me to keep a Mercedes for 10 years, no, it's not gonna be worth it because the repair will cost more than the car. What is the new one? I ordered one to come in, but then because of lack of the part that should build the car, that specific one I want, they say around March to April. So if I do end up make a deal on it, it's gotta be around March or April. So yeah, when I buy a car, I can post a picture for you guys. It's the same car, different year, that's it. So I have a 2018 Mercedes C63S AMG, and I'm buying a 2019 Mercedes C63 AMG. So it's not a big difference, it's not a big change. But yeah, I want mine to be delivered, and I want mine to build a specific way. I must have all the options. So to get all the options, there's a part for that particular car. It's a digital dash that they are lacking the parts for. So haha, you can't buy that anymore. I mean, if you drive the car the way my wife drives, the car isn't gonna last 7 months. my wife, she actually drove through the snow today, and she came back first thing and said, "Hey, hon, I drove through a big pothole, so big I heard the rock just broke off." And I was like, "Oh, great! It's time to buy new rims." So why do I do that? Well, in Massachusetts, we have snow and salt. And when you have snow and salt, it damages the undercarriage and the frame of the car a lot. So you gotta think it the way I think of it, okay? So you put yourself in my shoes, and think the same way for one moment, okay? As a human being, you can look perfectly fine, but does that mean your joint is not being wear and teared? Does that mean your heart is not beating and then wear out as you go? Engine and car is the same way. Even though this looks like there's absolutely nothing wrong with the car looks beautiful. Even if you just leave it there and not drive it, you are damaging the car. The frame is being warped. The salt is eating through the cars and all that stuff. Things are happening to the car, and I feel like because the car is not reliable, why not just change it, right? And not only you change it, you get newer stuff. You get the newer technology, the safety feature and stuff like that. For example, the new one has a cross alert. So when I'm backing car out of the driveway, there's a cross alert if somebody decides to just zoom by in the parking lot. So that is safety that I can buy for my family, right? So I as a driver, you gotta know this, right? When you're driving a car, the person in the most dangerous position is actually your passenger. All right, the person that sits right next to you is going to die first in any sort of a collision. Right, any kind of a collision, the passenger is the number one passenger is gotta be in the most dangerous spot because they cannot brace for an impact. You can. You as a driver is gotta see it coming, but the passenger isn't. So the more safety feature I can buy every time there's a new one, I don't care what kind it is, I will buy it just so that I know something happens. If I don't survive, my wife will or my passenger will. So I think it's responsible for me to spend that money to continuously to get a car with a sturdy frame, a car with a safety feature that's gonna save my family's life versus me. And if you think about it, right? Let's say if I want that safety feature and I go get somebody to install it, that will cost me $5-6 grand anyway. I might as well have to get rid of my car and buy the new one. That way, I'm always driving a new car, right? Always the newest technology and have what I needed too. So it makes more sense for me to buy new cars versus I say, you know what, I'm gonna modify this and put the safety feature in there. It's just gonna cost nearly as much, and it's not gonna work as a unison, and it's not gonna the safety point of it is not gonna be as much. I mean, it doesn't make sense for everyone, but for me, it does make sense because I got to a point where my family's life is more important than my money. So, if you say, "Hey, Tony, would you pay 10 grand to assure that your wife isn't gonna die in a car collision?" I say, "Yeah, I spend 20 grand. I spend 100 grand if I have to." So that's where the theory comes about. That it connects, right? It says, okay, so if I will spend the 10 grand to ensure even 1% of chance for my wife to survive, why wouldn't I spend it? I will spend it, yeah. What is my opinion on Ferrari? My opinion on Ferrari is the thumbs down, do not buy one, ever. Ferrari is not safe to drive. Do not drive one. So yeah. When it comes to cars, buy one that's just enough, right? Because I could go buy a Maybach or whatever and bulletproof glass and all that stuff, But that would just be overkill. I just need a car that's comfortable to drive, have all the options I want, and have fun with it once in a while. So C-Class 63 is more than enough, or even BMW M3. I could go buy M5, but that wouldn't make sense. Why do I need that much horsepower? Like, if I can buy a C63 S without the horsepower, I'll buy a C63 without the horsepower. Just give me 300 horsepower. That's enough. But, they shove in the engine that's 500 horsepower. I'll never using. You'll never ever be able to use 510 horsepower in Massachusetts roads because it's just so many potholes, regulation and stuff. I drive like a snail. I drive so slow. Grandmother will laugh, honk at me and laugh and drove by. That's kind of driver I am. You know, once in a while I will drive faster, only because I'm in a good mood or whatever. But I just need something that can get to places and comfortable. BMW 1M, go. Just don't even bother. Don't even bother. Don't even bother. I had a 1 Series, so I can tell you that for sure. Don't even bother. You just want to go fast. See, that's the thing. If you really just want to go fast, go to a track, rent a car, and drive as fast as you possibly want. Right? There's insurance on it when you rent on a car. If you crash it, you crash it. If you just want to go fast, do it responsibly and go to a track. Well, go to a go-kart. The go-kart is not going that fast, but it feels like you're going 1,000 miles an hour on a go-kart. So try those. You know, just feel your needs for speed, right? You don't have to do it on a regular road because that's just giving everybody problem. The thing about driving is you gotta know is that you can be the best driver ever in the world. You can be a professional driver and never have any issue driving. That doesn't mean that there isn't gonna be idiots driving in the road that's gonna hit you, right? So driving fast is one thing, and you can be as safe as you can possibly be. Doesn't mean there's not gonna be another idiot that just gonna T-bone you or whatever. So to be the only safe way of getting the need for speed filled, just go to a track. And no, those speed ticket is hard to find, so don't. Your go-kart go 135 miles an hour. Where did you drive your go-kart that actually allows you to pick up speed that much? I don't think there's a go-kart track that actually allow you to fill 135 miles an hour. Like, it could, doesn't mean you should. SQ4 out of my hands, please. My woman don't want it and let it go. Yeah, I would say trade that in for another car, bro. Yeah, Maserati. Next time, before you buy a car, ask me for my opinion, because I can give you my honest opinion on most cars. Get pulled over 11 times, no tickets? I don't know how you do that. Yeah, but car is one of those things that I'm more concerned about safety of my passenger than me. Because if I drive by myself, I don't care. I wouldn't, if I die in an accident, I know my wife will be taken care of with good amount of insurance. But when my wife or a passenger right next to me, their life is in my hands, so I had to be responsible. Yeah, but even down south, I don't think the track allows you to go 100 miles an hour. You gotta know that when you're driving a go-kart, you're not protected. The only thing that's protecting you is your helmet. But if you follow the car or a go-kart crash, you're gonna die at 135 miles an hour. I don't care who you are. All right, if you fall off a vehicle at 135 miles an hour, you're gonna die because the amount of impact that's gonna hit your body is just not gonna stop. That's just see, that's the thing. Nate. You're like my brother. My brother's his wife is a vet. Well, no, she's serving the military, so they get a military ID, and he will just park at places that he shouldn't be and put the military ID on top of the windshield, and he never gets ticket. He never gets ticket. I don't know. And he drives crazy because he drives in New York. You can like that. I can't. I'm the guy that gets honked everywhere when I go to New York. It's like, do you know how to drive? Get home. Blah, blah, blah. I'll be like, driving slow as a snail. I don't like to take advantage, because I think and I understand when a police officer had to write tickets, because I was told, this is what I was told, that if the police officer doesn't write tickets when they're out, they get shoved into the office doing paperwork. So, you know, when they write me a ticket, usually I don't fight it. I just pay it. I usually ask them, like, if you like write me a ticket, that's fine. I'm not even gonna fight it, but can you write me one that doesn't affect my insurance score? I won't even fight it. And they will write something like stupid, like broken tail light, even though my car is completely fine. They'll write broken tail light, or they will write like no license in the front, no license plates in the front, and I usually can just drive in front of the court and says I'll pay the cost, even though the car is nothing wrong with it. I just say, yeah, there was something wrong. I didn't want to put a front plate in my car, so you know I pay for that. But usually my car does have a front plate, so. I was clocked by a cop who was so shocked he ended up buying the go-kart in a few months and then paralyzed himself when he hit a tree. See, that's the thing. That's the thing. You're not gonna have a good time doing that kind of stuff, you know, not in a responsible way. So I highly don't recommend that. I highly don't recommend that. You know, this is very different. We're talking about life and death versus smoking a bad cigar and then get sick. This is life and death. So I had injuries on my back from back in doing martial art. I got kicked so hard in the back that I dislocated one of the joint. So I know how horrible it is to get injured and then have to go through rehab and everything. And my mom had a stroke, so like she had to go for a long rehab too. So you know, rehab is not fun. That's why I take safety in terms of driving and all that very seriously, because I know even a minor injury can last forever. So yeah, I used to be skinny and nice looking. You know, I know you guys can still see it because I'm still young, right? I'm very nice looking. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this. So yeah, once you get injured, it's too late to regret. So have a good night, Joseph. Thanks for dropping by. Go-kart at 40 with the airborne at points. Yeah, you know, at that point it's not fun anymore. So I know everybody had the need for speed. Everybody want to drive fast. Everybody wish the speed limit should be 85. I know, but you know, when it gets to a point, be safe. Buying a good looking car is one thing though. Buying a good looking car is one thing. But again, Ferrari, don't buy it. Why would you buy? You guys know the story about Ferrari, right? Enzo Ferrari hated every single car that the company released. He hated every single car. Why will you buy a car even the owner himself hates? Enzo Ferrari hated every single car that was manufactured by Ferrari except Enzo Ferrari. So when you buy a car, shouldn't you buy something that they are proud of rather than something that they hate? That's like buying, I don't know, because whatever you're buying, you're paying for his Ferrari F1 team, and then you know that's why Ferrari is bankrupt. They sold their company. Ferrari no longer owns Ferrari technically. So you know, why would you pay for their F1 team when they hated the car? They didn't put the spirit into the car. You know, they didn't put the spirit. You gotta buy a car where the designer is very passionate about what they design, and that's how you gotta get the most out of your car. And that's one of the things. And when people buy their car, they remove the badge, they change the look, and they modify it. I go, why do you gotta remove the badge as if nobody knows the car is that car, right? Like you get a Honda and you remove the word Civic. People still gotta know that's a Civic. Why do you remove it? I mean, how would you like if I just remove your name all of a sudden, right? You wouldn't like it, so. Never broke a bone. Knock on wood, Tristan. Don't say that. You know, just let's hope that nobody ever gets hurt. I don't like to see people get hurt because I've got seriously hurt before. You know, I have a cracked skull. I have a loose back. I have chronic back pain. I have a chronic joint pain on my right arm, and I have soreness on my left arm because all those martial art back in the days and all the competition, getting hurt and all that stuff. So. When you had to go to the hospital for that kind of stuff, not a pleasant thing. Oh, Audi has an even better story. Audi is made out of 4 companies that failed. That's why there's 4 rings. 4 companies that failed together. I just don't understand it. A lot of time people like to modify the car that way. Why don't you just buy a car with it? Right? You wanna get a car at 200 horsepower, modify to 400 horsepower. Just buy a car at 400 horsepower. You're all set. You don't have to modify it. Done. Oh, here he goes. Ching chong chong ding dong. Okay. Do you even know what that means? Aston Martin are sexy cars. I can tell you that. Except that, you know, they still use like, you know, old stuff. If they can update some of their stuff, they'll be really good car. I will buy it. You know, Vantage is one car I will buy. But they need to upgrade their fobs. They need to upgrade some of the dash and stuff like that to make it more modern. Yeah, I've seen those tractor and Bobcats and stuff like that. Oh, did you hear about, Nate, did you hear about the F-Type had a sunroof that melted? One of the car had a sunroof that melted under the sun. That was an F-Type. So Audi is one direction. What do you mean by one direction? Jaguar F-Type, right? Probably had to get the convertible ones. Another car that I won't buy is a convertible car. So convertible cars don't have the cage. It's less safe. So you will never catch me buying that. You know, yeah, I won't buy a convertible car because when the car flips over, you need a cage to secure you. When you have a convertible one, the top will just collapse in there. I have one friend that passed away because his car flipped over. Always get a safe car. Get a safe car. You know, get a safe car. Don't get a car with 200 horsepower and 200 horsepower brake pads and then modify to 600 horsepower. When you want to step on the brake doesn't stop. That's a problem. Here's the funny one though. What is the dumbest injury you've ever got? Like an injury that is so serious but then you get it the dumbest way possible. I have one story I can tell you guys. That's like, how do you get injured that way? That's stupid. I have the dumbest one ever. So leave your dumbest injury in the comments so that we can talk about that. But here's my story, all right? I do not like to play tennis. I hate tennis because I can never get the tennis swing correctly. And my dumbest way of getting injured is actually playing tennis, but not while I play tennis. I play tennis with this guy, hitting back and forth, and I can never win. I got so angry while walking towards picking up the ball. Flat surface, completely flat. Walking over to pick up the ball, I stepped on my own foot and broke my ankle. I stepped on my own foot, broke my ankle, picking up a ball. Walking towards the ball, picking up a ball, I broke my own ankle because I couldn't win. From that point on, I don't play tennis anymore, but that is the dumbest way to get injured ever. How do I walk straight like this and step on myself? Like, this is one foot, right? I step on like this. So the foot didn't land correctly, so it twisted, and I step on it the next step. That's how I broke my own ankle. I mean, that is the dumbest way, most embarrassing injury I've ever gotten. Okay, I need 2 guys to carry me to the nursing room, and you know, when they ask me how did I get injured, did I run or whatever, I say no, I step on myself. That's the dumbest way to get injured. I broke my toe kicking a table too, by accident. Like, I wasn't even running too. Broke a tailbone riding a bike jump ramp. Okay, I can understand that one. That's not that stupid. Jamming my finger opening a door. How do you jam your finger opening a door? I mean, it's opening, unless your finger's on the other side, right? Cutting a carpet in a car with a kitchen knife, stabbing yourself. Now that's bad. That's bad. I broke my finger wrestling drunk with my friend and didn't notice for 3 days. Now, see, when you broke something, a lot of time, sometimes you just don't feel you just feel numb on that finger, so you don't even know it's broken anymore. So we have a lot of those where you broke a finger, it swelled, it's purple, but you never notice that it's broken. You just numb. You thought it was just numb. Fell off a roof. Now that's a tough one. I know one guy. He showed me the scar on his hand. He almost cut his whole hand off with the artery. What happened is he was climbing a tree, trying to cut off a branch with a chainsaw, and he slipped, and the chainsaw caught his hand, and he's just running back and forth. His hand almost got cut off. Now that's a bad injury. That's a stupid one too, because he shouldn't have climbed a tree holding a chainsaw with one hand. That's a horrible choice. My finger hit the doorknob while I was reaching out to turn the doorknob. The doorknob. But that's not... Oh, okay, so that's what you mean by jam. Okay. I got it. Dislocated 2 of my toe getting out of bed, hopping out of the bed because someone rang the doorbell. Dog has been lying on my feet and they were asleep. Felt it instantly. I broke both wrists and my elbow, cracked 2 ribs with a minor concussion. Doing what? Oh, falling off the roof. Okay. I broke my knuckle on a punching bag. Yeah, I know how that feels because we used to train punching. So when we practice martial art, first thing we were told is before you can hurt someone, first you had to learn how to hurt yourself. When you no longer feel hurt, that's when you can hurt someone. So when we first start training, we punch trees, punch bricks, punch walls, punch the punching bag. We tend to hurt ourselves. But I didn't think that was stupid though. That's just like a kind of expected injury. Buddy blew his fuse in his truck, didn't have a new one, so he put a 22 program belt, ended up shooting himself in the butt. Ow! That's bad. Now that's bad. Did he cap the balls or did he lose a ball? Did he keep his ball? I mean, you can still survive with 1 ball, but ow. Yeah, I think Jason topped up on that one. Jason won that one. Oh my god. Ooh. That sounds painful. Just thinking about it. You know, whenever somebody talk about ball injury, you instantly feel the pain, right? Have you ever done this watching TV and then they show like videos of somebody just trip, like when somebody do a skateboarding, fall into a thing and hit his balls? You feel the pain instantly. Like without being there. That's that painful. That's one of the weakness. Like there's not gonna be one guy get kicked in the ball and say, don't feel a thing. I still remember the shock that I got when I heard about, like, what's his name, Tom Green or something like that, removed one of his balls. One of those things. It's crazy. But yeah, don't ever punch things when you're angry. See, this is what I want to tell people. You know, when you guys get angry and stuff like that, go do something that makes you happy instead of feel the need to destroy stuff. Like, we're human beings, right? So we like to destroy stuff. Believe it or not, that's actually in psychology that we like to destroy stuff. We like to hurt stuff. People get pleasure over seeing other people in pain. You know, that's why the saying that everything's funny as long as it's not happening to me, right? So we have the need to hurt stuff, but all the time try to do something that makes you happy, it's a good way to do it rather than hurting yourself. Washing the fryer worked with a rag. Accidentally thrusted my hand into the fryer. When I pulled my hand towards me, I dripped the hot rag on my private and burned myself in a bad way. 3 stitches on my thigh because I was playing with a pocket knife. Put it in my pocket open. I was 10 though. But that would be a cool story to talk about, isn't it? How do you get that long scar? Oh yeah. I was fighting a dinosaur, and the dinosaur decided to bite my legs, very close to my balls, but he couldn't get me. And that's how I defeated the dinosaur. What happened to the dinosaur? I ate it. That reminds me of that. What's that movie called? With the shoot, Ice Age. Ice Age, the guy with the teeth. That reminds me of that. When you like, have to talk about like a really cool scar, you know. I kept his teeth. Well, Chris, that's because you buy your table from IKEA. If you buy your table from IKEA, you gotta put your fist right through it and not feel a thing. Have you guys heard about the IKEA opening in India? 4-hour line just to get in. Fire crotch. You guys are good. Anyways, summaries. Cigar bacon, not too bad. I mean, it's kind of weird. Bacon cigar, not recommended. Don't try this at home. Don Garcia, it doesn't want to stay lit after I get to nearly the end, right? You guys saw me lit it up a few times, even though I constantly puff at it. It doesn't want to stay lit, but the taste was constant, right? It's just this. It's very consistent throughout. It's the same flavor, nothing changed. For those people that like Lancero, I guess that's the point, right? But nothing much changed, but it's consistent, good smoke. So, yeah, if you like Lancero, this is not bad. Not bad at all. I don't know the price of this, but I would say try it. That's not bad. And what else? If you like to support the channel, the link is in the description. There's a donation link and there's a merchandise link. There's a merchandise link in there already. If you do go to see the merchandise, you're gonna see t-shirts with a different color that you might not like. But once you click on it, there's more color to select. So, you know, if you want that, that's that. If you want a sticker, all you have to do is donate, and you know, usually we'll see a zombie, but no zombie today, so that's totally fine. But if you do want a sticker, that's what I send out. When you when I see a zombie, just send me a private message on your address. I send it out right away. I think that's it. You know, Sunday, it's gotta be Super Bowl. Watch it or not, but I know some snow roll is still bad. Please be safe if you do drive out tomorrow and stuff like that. Stay warm, guys. So, you know, I think today we had a good conversation when it comes to cars and all that injury stuff. I'm gonna think about those injuries. That's gotta be crazy, you know. My friend got hit by a softball in the nuts and fell out of the sack. Wait, how did that work? How you get hit? Softball doesn't hit that hard, and does the ball fall out of the sack? That's what? How did that work? Anyways, so I hope those injury reminds you to be safe. You know, please be safe. And I might have another live on Facebook, maybe. And I'm not gonna be on Saturday for sure because I'll be on an airplane. So, you know, be safe, guys. I'll chat with you guys on Facebook. You know, for those people that wants to see Bacon Cigar that missed it, please go ahead and give them the link for this video so that they can watch this video. Other than that, I think we're all set. All right, we're gonna call it a night, and have a good night, guys. Be safe. Don't hurt yourself anymore. Don't buy a car that's gonna hurt you either. I don't know how that will work. That's a deep opening, Chris. I don't know. I don't know if that's gonna work. Anyway, so thanks for joining me. We'll wrap up here. Have a good night, guys. Be saucy. I will talk to you guys on Facebook. Again, if anybody want a link, go ahead and share the link. Just don't go overshare, I guess. And we'll talk about all the other cigars that I have. I'm gonna record a video about that football cigar when I get a chance, so we can talk about that football cigar. All right. Have a good night, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Be saucy.